Welcome to my autocorrect program, which is probably very much like some of the autocorrects you've seen across various popular websites on the internet. It's attached to a dictionary of English words, which is how it knows what to consider a valid word. Let's go over some of the algorithms it uses for generating suggestions. Up here in the settings box, I can check or uncheck some of the algorithms, depending on whether I want the autocorrect engine to use them. So I'll uncheck these, and let's go over autocomplete first. So autocomplete will take a partially typed word as a prefix and look for all valid words that start with that prefix. So here I've typed SCIE, and it suggested some words that start with that prefix. So maybe I wanted to type scientist. I can use the arrows on my keyboard to scroll through the suggestions, and I can hit enter when I've selected my intended word. I can also use my mouse and click on my intended word. Next we'll take a look at the Levenstein edit distance, or LED, which is what's used for recommending suggestions when you have a typo, when you actually type the word wrong. So here you can see I've spelled the word toothbrush incorrectly, but it suggested some words that are close that are correctly spelled. This number over here is the maximum edit distance that it's allowed to look for. So right now I'm looking for suggestions within an edit distance of 2 from the typed word, and that number is the total, the sum of insertions, deletions, and substitutions, 3 types of errors in my typed word. So say I wanted to type the word understandable. Here with a maximum edit distance of 2, it couldn't find any suggestions because I have more than 2 mistakes in the word. However, if I increase that up to 3, then it's able to find some suggestions. So the higher that number, the more lenient it is. Finally, we have white space. White space takes a long word in which the user may have forgotten to type the space, such as this example. And it looks for places within the word where you can insert the space to form 2 valid words. So here, I could have been meaning to type the irresponsibility if you put the space here between the E and the I, or maybe I was trying to type their responsibility if you were to put the space between the 2 R's. So finally, let's take a look at the sorts that I have. 2 different sorting options. So the one I've been using is the default, the keyboard distance sort. So here's an example. Maybe I type PACJ. So here you can see the first suggestion is pack. Why is the first suggestion pack? Because the only difference is the J to the K. And if you look at your keyboard, the J is right next to the K on the keyboard. So it generates that as the first suggestion because I'm probably pretty likely to just miss by 1 key there, and maybe I was really meaning to hit the K, I accidentally hit the J. So that's probably a pretty likely error. Whereas a word such as pace, which is also only off by 1 letter, that's not even in the top 5 suggestions because the E is so far away from the J, it's all the way on the other side of the keyboard, it's pretty unlikely that that's the letter I meant to hit. Pack would be much more likely. The other sorting option is the bigram and unigram frequency sort. That method considers the frequency with which 2 words appear next to each other in the English language, and in the event of a tie it goes down to unigram frequency, which is just the frequency of a single word in the English language. I've used 2 full texts of Sherlock Holmes and Great Expectations, 2 of the classics, to teach this program what words come after each other in the English language, as well as the general frequency of a single word. So here's an example. Let me go back to keyboard distance sort for a second. Let's say I wanted to type the phrase I believe. Let's see how long it takes to come up using the keyboard distance sort. It doesn't come up until I type the V, so I'm only one letter away before it finally comes up using keyboard distance sort. Let's do the same experiment here, but use the bigram frequency sort and see how fast it comes up. So here, I've only typed the B, and it's already come up because it knows the phrase I believe. The word believe does often come after the word I. Those two words go together in the English language, so it thinks it's pretty likely that that's what I'm going to type, and it's already come up as a suggestion. I've included a link below to a full tutorial of my Autocorrect API, so if you want to look at that, that's available for anyone to download.